So I had another great idea this week. When we went to Oklahoma, we took Josh's Cummins, and it changed my whole life. I've been towing my enclosed trailer with a half ton for a long time, and I didn't think I had an issue doing that until I drove Josh's truck, and it changed my life. So I thought, I need to go to the dealer right now. I need to get a diesel. Here she is, the old half ton, the local Chevy dealer. So look at this. Oh my God, it was so clean. It was so nice. Gave my old half ton in exchange for this 5-year-older Duramax. Yeah, so if you've done any truck shopping recently, the market's just completely through the roof. I traded in my truck. They gave me what I paid for it like 4 years ago and 50,000 miles less ago, which was great. But the new truck I wanted, they want like $50,000 or $60,000 for used diesel, and I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And they're like, well, we got this clunky old pile in the corner with 150,000. And I was like, now we're talking. So made a little deal on her. I don't know if this is me good or bad. I've never owned one before. I'm told that immediately there's like 19 things you have to do. You know, you gotta chop this off, and you gotta take this off, and you gotta tune this and change that, and the fuel pump's gonna explode. I don't know. It's a Duramax. I think they all have trouble. I've never owned a diesel before, so this is all new to me. But I'm quite excited to be able to tow across the country, hopefully with ease. But at any rate, after ordering the 5th pair of seals for the front hubs, I think I finally got the right ones. Oh my God, I just want the car to move. It's been here so long. I guess not that long, it's like 3 weeks, but it feels like an eternity. I was so happy to get outside after the winter, and now we're back to where we were. Oh, there's the new purchase too. The old tow pig. So if you follow the page on Facebook, or you follow like my personal page on Facebook, you'll know that these rotors were impossible to find. I couldn't find them anywhere. These are the old ones we had, and they were pretty beat. The one, this must be off the good side. The side that hit the wall, you can see where like it was either from a panic stop or when it hit, it kind of bent it and the brake pad got locked up and it kind of tore it up around the way. So these are the old ones, and they're 1602 Willwood, and I ordered like 5 different sets from people that said they have them in stock. Nobody had them. Every time I'd order, they'd call back like, oh, the inventory is wrong. Well, then we found out to realize that Willwood's inventory was off. So Willwood was showing 10 on hand or 11 on hand, but they didn't actually have them on hand. So all these drop shippers I was ordering from didn't have them. So huge shout out to Matt Lynn, who found like a for sale post from 2019 that a guy had these. Messaged the guy, set up the whole thing. Basically was just like, hey man, send this guy, PayPal this guy money, and they're on the way. 2 days later, on my doorstep. So huge thanks to Matt for finding these. They're a little bit different style than those. These had the tapered head on them. These don't. These have the whoosh pattern. These, I don't know. Maybe they might be for a sprint car. I have no idea, but they're gonna work. Maybe they won't. You can tell me if I'm wrong, but we're going with it for now. Furthermore, on the old parts trail, I ordered 9 different seals trying to get the right one. I believe these are right. Oh yes, yes they are. 40494S. Right there. That's your Willwood hub replacement seal. So we're just gonna bang these really quick, and on the car they go. Okay. Oh yeah, All right. Go ahead and pre-grease your bearing. That on there. Greaser. A washer. So if you do this the right way, you should set this nut to like, I think it's 12, 15, somewhere between 12 and 15 foot-pounds. Spin it, check it again, spin it, check it again, and then back it off to, most people say just the closest cotter key. Fortunately, I've got my torque wrench here. Snap-on torque wrench nonetheless. I'm just gonna give her, no, that's not 12. Right about there's 12. And we're just gonna go to our closest cotter key, which is there. And this is a funny story about this cotter key set. This is the first thing anyone ever sent me in the mail from like watching a YouTube channel. I was putting the Mustang together and I was reusing cotter keys, and this guy's like, can I send you some? Absolutely. I can't remember his YouTube name. but I'll put it in the description. Finally, our dust cap. I've been called a lot of things, and a hack is one of them. But if there's one thing that bothers me, it's when these dust caps are just completely smashed to oblivion. So if you just find yourself a socket that slides over and catches the lip, now it doesn't look destroyed. Look at that. Okay, now for our brakes. So the pads are easy to get. Just went right on Summit and ordered them. It was the rotors that were the trick. For the pads, we went with the same as the rear, the Polymatrix A. If you go back like 2 videos, I talked about the why behind the brake pad selection. Granted, that probably goes completely out the window now because these rotors probably aren't the correct rotor for what we're doing. I'm actually pretty excited for somebody to tell me that these are for like a ATV or off-road application, or I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I know what you're thinking. Those are some tiny brakes you have there, and you're right. These are just like the single piston setup from Willwood. They were on the car when I got it, like most things. And in my research of parts after the little incident, I did a lot of reading about caliper sizes and kits and what's right and what's wrong. Anyhow, what's right and what's wrong. And this front brake kit, this is a whole Willwood kit, it's rated at 2,400 pounds for the vehicle weight. I'm well aware this car weighs more than that. However, you gotta take something into consideration. The rears are the bigger ones. The fronts, we've got like 3.5 inches of contact. So I don't really know that it's super beneficial to have the bigger brakes in the front as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the thought process, and we're gonna stick with it because one thing this car always did well was stop. Something that you'll notice on some of the race cars, I think this is kind of cool, the bolt heads for speed wire. So you can run your wire through here, and then you run it down to the bottom, and you twist it in the middle, and it won't let them come out on vibration. Another slick part of race brakes, aka motorcycle brakes in our scenario, because that's what they look like, is they just drop in from the top. Which makes life pretty easy once you drop it too far. And you take your cotter key through the pad, through the caliper, like that. So I'm gonna toss the other side on. We definitely don't need to do that on camera. If you watched it once, I commend you already. But that's on. I did throw some paint on this week. Brian came back yesterday, made this nice little mount here. And if you're wondering how serious we're taking the safety game with steering this year, we've got ARP hardware holding the rack in. Check out the irony. ARP hardware, hose clamp. ARP hose clamp. Should work out. And while it was off, I went ahead and cleaned up some old mounts, touched up the old bodywork here a little bit, fresh can of spray paint, and we're about ready to rip up here. All right, hang in there, hang in there. I know it's just another weekly update video, but it's all we got because we don't have a race car to go racing. Check this out. Okay, so if you're new around here, this is the perpetrator. It broke, I crashed, now we're rebuilding the car. So here's the old one. A couple things we've noticed, I've learned, I should say, after I broke it, doing a bunch of research, figuring out like what kit we wanted to use, how we wanted to build the new one. A, this tube size sucks. B, there's no support across it. C, I think a 45 here is not ideal if you've got load traveling through this. Maybe why that broke. So you're asking yourself, how could we make it any better? Well, feast your eyes on this thing Brian built. Oh, look at the meat on this thing. Oh my goodness. This should be one of those cheesy memes where it's like, you, the guy she told you not to worry about, because this would definitely be the guy she told you not to worry about. I am stoked. This thing looks so much more meaty, so much less chance of death, and Brian just knocked it out of the park. You know, when you buy like a build-it-yourself kit, they show a picture of what it's going to look like when it's done, and it never looks like that. Well, when Brian does your work, it actually looks like the picture. This thing is sweet. Another thing we learned, I had vertical frame mounts like this. The frame mounts need to be flipped to be horizontal. So that'll be a change when it goes back in. But my goodness, look at the improvement. But wait, there's more. So then I had to make the decision, do we reuse the 4-link bars or not? That was an easy decision. No, we're not reusing them. They're disgusting, they're crusty, they're kind of small. The Heims look like they're from, I don't know, World War II era, maybe used to build a fighter jet or something. They had to go. So, went back to McCamus, bought the 4-link kit, and again, Brian knocked it out of the park. Hoo-ee, look at the meat on these things. Here, hang on, let me show you. Look at the comparison. Oh my goodness. So this is 1 1/4. This is 1 5/8. So, let's see. So now the lowers are 1 5/8. The uppers are 1.5 inches. So even the uppers are still bigger than the old ones. I did foobar this a little bit. I should have known for the price that this kit was not going to come with Heim joints. I thought it did, so I can't put them in yet. But either way, that gives me a couple days. I'm going to get these powder coated. Probably just paint that. Maybe I'll just paint that. I don't want powder coat that because I'm worried about the seals in it getting hot. Either way, it gives me some days to get these ready and painted. I ordered up new Heim joints, put it together, and then the stupid rear end can go back in the stupid car. All right, that's about it for the week. I can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel, or it's a meteor crashing towards me, and this is all going to go to hell in no time. But either way, stick with it. We're going to get back to the track soon. I can feel it. The website's been updated. If you need some merch, if you need some shirts, if you need some decals, they're there. I don't like advertising it, but sometimes people message me, ask for anything, get them. NoNameRaceCars.com. We are going to do a second run of SBE Carhartts. I did like a really limited number the first time because they are expensive. But I think this week I'm going to put up a pre-order link. I'm just waiting for confirmation that Carhartt has stock of that color. Anyhow, stand by for more. Stand by for the rear end going in, the motor going back in. We've got some ignition updates coming, and that'll be next week.